They say a dragon chooses its rider. They say the bond is sacred, older than kingdoms, older than war. They say when a dragon dies, its rider feels it, like something being torn from inside the chest. Not pain, exactly. More like the moment you realize the person you trusted most has been lying to you for years. This is a story about dragons. But it is not a story about fire. It is a story about what people do when they believe power belongs to them, and what happens when a dragon disagrees. It begins, as all the worst stories do, with a boy who had nothing, and an egg that should not have hatched. His name was Cael. No house, no name worth remembering. No history anyone had written down. He had been born in the labor district, the part of the capital city the 5 kings agreed not to look at directly. He carried stone, he cleaned filth, he slept in shifts. He was 17 years old and had never once been cold, because rage keeps you warm. The egg arrived in the labor district the way all terrible things arrive quietly. A transport cart, mislabeled, redirected by someone who didn't exist. When Cael found it, half buried under rubble from a collapsed wall, it was already cracking. Not slowly, fast, like it had been waiting. The other workers ran. An unhatched dragon egg in the wrong hands was a death sentence in all 5 kingdoms. Cael didn't run. Not because he was brave, because he was exhausted. And somewhere deep in his bones, he felt something. A pull. The egg split. What came out was small, black, silver-eyed. It looked at him and made a sound that wasn't quite a roar, more like a question. Cael named her Nyxara. By morning, every spy in all 5 kingdoms knew, and Queen Serava of House Vaeltha smiled for the first time in months, because this, she thought, was going exactly according to plan. Queen Serava was the most dangerous person in Avern, not because she had the largest army. She did, not because she had the most powerful dragon. Orindax was ancient and had not lost a battle in 40 years. She was dangerous because she thought in decades. While other kings planned for seasons, Serava planned for generations. 12 years ago, she had begun a plan so completely disguised as ordinary events that when it finally moved, no one would see it coming. The last unhatched egg in Avern had not ended up there by accident. She had moved it quietly through mislabeled shipments, because a dragon bonded to a commoner could be seized, rebonded, or so she believed. What Serava had not planned for was Cael himself. The other 4 kingdoms were already sending soldiers. They all wanted the dragon. None of them wanted the boy. That was their first mistake, and Serava's first surprise, because Nyxara, the dragon, refused. Every soldier that approached her screamed, not from fire, from something in her eyes. Something old. Something that looked directly into people and found them wanting. Only Cael could stand near her. Only Cael didn't flinch. Serava changed her plan and sent her son instead. Prince Aldric was 22. He was tall, careful, and exhausted in a way that expensive clothes couldn't hide. His mother's instructions: earn the boy's trust. Bring the dragon to me. His own instruction: find out why this specific boy. For 6 days, Aldric stayed. He just talked about the kingdoms, about his mother, about what the 5 thrones looked like from the inside. On the 7th day, Cael asked him directly, "Why does your mother really want Nyxara?" Aldric paused. "To protect the realm," he said. Cael looked at Nyxara. Nyxara looked at Aldric, and for the first time since she hatched, she growled. That night, Commander Voss arrived, and everything Aldric thought he controlled fell apart. Voss had been hunting the last egg for 11 years. Not for any queen, for himself, for a promise he'd made to a dead man. "You have his eyes," Voss said. "Whose?" Cael asked. "King Edrin's, before Edrin died. He told me he had a son. Hidden, he told me the boy would find the last egg because it was his blood. Nyxara hatched for you because you are the only heir left with the right to sit the center throne. The one Serava wants." Aldric stood at the edge of the firelight, calculating. Cael saw it. Not a prince who was manipulated, but one who saw a problem. The raven Aldric sent did not go to his mother. It went to the other 3 kingdoms. The slave boy is the illegitimate heir. Come now. He did it because he had looked at Cael, a slave boy with nothing, and felt something he recognized. The right to rule. They came from all sides. 4 kingdoms worth of soldiers. And above them, Serava herself, riding Orindax. Serava looked down at her son, at Voss, and at Cael. "Surrender the dragon, and I will give you a life worth living." Cael opened his eyes. "Ask her," he said. And then, for the first time in recorded history, a dragon spoke. She said 4 words. "I am the first." Orindax, Serava's ancient dragon, lowered his head. Not in attack, in deference. Every bonded dragon in every kingdom felt it. Nyxara was the source dragon. The first, the one all others descended from. Serava's soldiers looked at each other, then at Cael. Then they began, one by one, to take a knee. To the boy who never ran, they offered Cael the center throne. He looked at it for a long time. Then he looked at Nyxara. He sat down. Serava was stripped of Orindax's bond. She was not executed. Cael was not afraid of Serava. He was afraid of becoming her. Aldric knelt. Cael let him, then stand up. "You're going to help me fix what your mother started. I need someone who understands the enemy. What no kingdom ever wrote down is that the dragon is not choosing a ruler. She is choosing a question. What will you do with power?" Cael didn't know yet. But for the first time in his life, he had time to figure it out. Blood of the last dragon. This was only the beginning.